Welcome to my channel Starwire Daily. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. It's 1990. A young girl from Long Island walks into a recording studio, clutching a demo tape that would change the music industry forever. Fast forward 34 years, and that same voice, the one that gave us 5 octaves of pure magic, is about to receive one of the most prestigious honors in entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Starwire Daily, where the stars align and the tea is always piping hot. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into a moment that's been decades in the making. Mariah Carey, the Songbird Supreme, the Queen of Christmas, the woman who literally owns the month of December, is finally getting her flowers at the MTV Video Music Awards with the coveted Video Vanguard Award. But honey, this isn't just another awards ceremony moment. This is vindication. This is justice. And if you know anything about Mariah's journey, you'll understand why this honor feels like the universe finally course-correcting itself. Let me take you back to where it all began, because Mariah's story isn't just about talent. It's about resilience, reinvention, and proving that sometimes the best revenge is simply existing fabulously. The year was 1988, when an 18-year-old Mariah Carey was working coat check at a Manhattan nightclub, dreaming of stardom while literally taking people's jackets for tips. Can you imagine? The woman who would go on to sell over 220 million records worldwide was hanging up strangers' coats just to pay rent. But here's the thing about destiny. It has a way of finding you when you least expect it. At that very same club, she managed to slip her demo tape to Brenda Kay. Star. Remember her? Who then passed it along to Tommy Mottola, the head of Columbia Records. Now, what happened next has become industry legend. Tommy played that tape in his car after leaving a party, and literally, I kid you not, turned his car around to find Mariah. He knew immediately that he was listening to something extraordinary. But let's be real here. What followed was a fairy tale that came with a very dark side. Because while Mariah was creating some of the most iconic music of the 90s, she was also trapped in what she would later describe as a controlling marriage to the very man who discovered her. Tommy Mottola had transformed her into a superstar. Yes, but at what cost? During those early years, Mariah was practically a prisoner in a golden cage. She's spoken candidly about how she was monitored constantly, how her every move was controlled, how she was molded into this perfect pop princess image that felt suffocating. And yet, through it all, she was creating masterpiece after masterpiece. Vision of love. Love takes time. Someday. Each song showcasing those impossible vocal runs that would inspire a generation of singers. The world was falling in love with Mariah Carey, but Mariah Carey was losing herself. Then came 1997, the year everything changed. Mariah filed for divorce from Tommy, and suddenly, the real Mariah began to emerge. Gone was the demure pop princess in flowing gowns. In her place stood a woman ready to show the world who she really was: street smart, funny, a little bit hood, and absolutely unafraid to experiment with her sound. Enter Butterfly, the album that would prove Mariah wasn't just a vocalist, she was an artist. Working with hip-hop producers, incorporating R&B influences, and writing deeply personal lyrics about transformation and freedom. The title track alone was her declaration of independence, singing, "I have learned to let you go," with the kind of conviction that only comes from lived experience. But the industry wasn't ready for this evolution. Critics, who had always been somewhat dismissive of Mariah's commercial success, became even more harsh. They called her calculated, accused her of chasing trends, questioned her artistic integrity. What they failed to understand was that this wasn't Mariah chasing anything. This was Mariah finally being allowed to be herself. And then came the moment that nearly broke her. The year 2001. Glitter. Now, before you roll your eyes, let me tell you something the critics won't. Glitter wasn't the disaster everyone claims it was. Was it perfectly executed? No. Was the movie a masterpiece? Absolutely not. But the soundtrack? Honey, that soundtrack was ahead of its time. Songs like Loverboy and I Know What You Want were bops that would fit perfectly in today's musical landscape. But context is everything. and the context was brutal. Mariah had just signed the largest recording contract in music history with Virgin Records, $100 million. The pressure was astronomical. She was exhausted, overworked, and dealing with what we now understand was a breakdown that the media turned into a spectacle. Remember that infamous TRL appearance where she handed out popsicles and seemed disoriented? The media had a field day, painting Mariah as unhinged, difficult, a diva who had lost touch with reality. What they didn't show was a woman who had been working nonstop for over a decade, who had finally broken free from one controlling situation only to find herself in another one with impossible expectations. But here's what I love about Mariah Carey. She's a phoenix. Just when everyone counted her out, she came back stronger. The emancipation of Mimi in 2005 wasn't just an album title. It was a statement. After being dropped by Virgin, mocked by the media, and written off by industry insiders, Mariah returned with an album that reminded everyone exactly why she's called the Songbird Supreme. We Belong Together became the song of the summer, spending 14 weeks at #1 and earning her a Grammy for Best Contemporary R&B Album, her first Grammy in over a decade. The comeback was so triumphant that it literally has its own name in the music industry, the Emancipation. It proved that talent, when combined with persistence and authenticity, will always rise to the top. But let's talk about what really makes Mariah a video vanguard, because it's not just about the music. It's about the visuals, the storytelling, the way she understood before most artists that music videos could be mini movies. Think about Fantasy. That video was revolutionary. Mariah, at an amusement park, carefree and joyful, dancing with abandon. It was simple but effective, showing a side of her personality that felt genuine and relatable. Or Heartbreaker with Jerry O'Connell, where she played multiple characters and showed off her comedic timing. These weren't just promotional tools. They were art pieces that expanded our understanding of who Mariah was as a performer. And We Belong Together. That video was pure cinematic excellence. The black and white aesthetic, the emotional storyline, Mariah's raw vulnerability. It was everything a music video should be. It told a complete story in 4 minutes and reminded us why MTV used to actually play music videos. Now, let's get into some behind-the-scenes tea, because you know I always have the inside scoop. The Video Vanguard Award, also known as the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award, is MTV's highest honor. It's not just about commercial success. It's about artistic innovation, cultural impact, and pushing boundaries. Previous recipients include Madonna, Janet Jackson, Beyoncé, Justin Timberlake, and Rihanna. The fact that Mariah is just now receiving this honor has raised some eyebrows in the industry. I mean, we're talking about an artist who has had more #1 hits than any solo artist in history. 19, to be exact. She's influenced everyone from Ariana Grande, to Beyoncé, to Christina Aguilera. Her vocal style literally created a new template for pop and R&B singing. So why did it take so long? Well, industry insiders suggest it might have something to do with Mariah's complicated relationship with MTV over the years. There were disputes about video rotation, disagreements about promotional appearances, and let's be honest, Mariah has never been one to play politics or kiss rings. She's always been authentically herself, even when that authenticity was inconvenient for others. But here's what makes this moment so beautiful. It's happening at the perfect time. Mariah, at 55, is in her Renaissance era. She's confident, she's happy, she's in control of her narrative in a way she never was in her younger years. She's published her memoir, The Meaning of Mariah Carey, which gave us unprecedented insight into her life and struggles. She's been open about her bipolar disorder, helping to destigmatize mental health conversations in the industry. She's also been having fun with her image in ways that feel authentic rather than calculated. The whole "I don't know her" meme, Mariah leaned into it. The diva reputation, she's embraced it while also showing her vulnerable side. This is a woman who has learned to control her own story, and that's incredibly powerful. And can we talk about what this VMA performance is going to be? Because honey, When Mariah Carey takes that stage to accept her Video Vanguard Award, it's not just going to be a performance. It's going to be an event. We're talking about medleys spanning 3 decades of hits. We're talking about those whistle notes that still give us chills. We're talking about a production that's going to remind everyone exactly why Mariah Carey is in a league of her own. The rumors are already swirling about special guests. Will we see some of the artists she's collaborated with over the years? Boys II Men, Jay-Z, Whitney Houston's hologram. Okay, maybe not that last one, but a girl can dream. What we do know is that Mariah has been working with some of the best directors and choreographers in the business to create something truly special. This isn't just about celebrating her past. It's about cementing her legacy for future generations. You know what I find most beautiful about this whole story? It's that Mariah's journey mirrors so many of our own struggles with authenticity, with being seen, with overcoming obstacles that seemed insurmountable. She's shown us that it's okay to reinvent yourself. It's okay to demand respect, and it's okay to celebrate your own fabulousness. In a world that often tries to pit women against each other, especially women in entertainment, Mariah has consistently supported other artists. She's mentored younger singers, she's collaborated across genres, and she's used her platform to advocate for issues she believes in. The Video Vanguard Award isn't just recognition of her artistic achievements. It's acknowledgement of her impact on culture, her influence on other artists, and her ability to connect with audiences across generations and backgrounds. As we prepare to watch Mariah accept this long overdue honor, let's remember that this moment is about more than awards and accolades. It's about a woman who refused to be diminished, who transformed her pain into art, and who continues to inspire us all to reach a little higher. From that girl hanging coats in a nightclub to the legend accepting the Video Vanguard Award, Mariah Carey's story is one of persistence, talent, and the power of believing in yourself even when the world doesn't. So here's to Mariah, the Songbird Supreme, the Christmas Queen, the woman who taught us that it's always better to be authentically yourself, even if that self is a little bit extra. She's earned every note of recognition, every moment in the spotlight, and every whistle note that still gives us goosebumps after all these years. And that's our deep dive into Mariah's incredible journey to this Video Vanguard moment. What do you think? Are you as excited as I am to see what she brings to the VMA stage? Drop your predictions in the comments below. I always love hearing from you gorgeous people. If you enjoyed this behind-the-scenes look at one of music's greatest legends, show some love with that like button. And if you want to stay in the loop on all the hottest celebrity news, gossip, and insider tea, make sure you're subscribed to StarWire Daily with notifications on. Trust me, you don't want to miss what we have coming up next week. Until then, stay fabulous, stay curious, and remember, we all deserve our flowers while we can still smell them. Mariah Carey is finally getting hers, and we couldn't be happier for her. This has been StarWire Daily. I'm your host, and we'll see you in the next one.